I think that's the biggest secret, for lack of better phrasing, is a lot of people think I got to focus on the right things, when in reality, what works even better is stopping the things that are nonsensical. I often joke, I say, how much would Michael Jordan be paid to play basketball 150 years ago? And the answer is $0. There was no market. There was no NBA. There was no,
Right.
So you kind of have to figure out what is profitable and self-improvement. And I started doing therapy in my 30s and realizing, oh, got it. So there's 4 trauma responses. I'll go brief with this. There's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Drinking too much and too often, for sure. Grew up around a lot of alcohol. Didn't know that. Didn't know it wasn't normal, right? What does next level mean to me? It means no matter how hard your past has been, you have a bigger, better, brighter future on the other side of taking personal responsibility.
Hey family, this is the Thriveword journey. Look, life's too short to just get by, and 2025 is the year to persist. We're here to grow, build, and thrive. This podcast is all about powerful stories, real talk, and practical steps to help you level up in every area of your life. Now, if that sounds like something you need, don't just watch, be a part of the journey. Let us know you're here. Do us a favor. If you're listening on the podcast platform, download the episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. And as we always say, let's make thriving our new norm.
Yeah. Beat up, bullied, and dunked on. Beat up, bullied, and dunked on. Bullied and dunked on. Yeah. Let's get it.
So today we will be talking about scaling your business and life, like a no BS guide to fulfillment and wealth. And our guest, at just 2 years old, our guest, Lazaros, lost his father in a car accident. And at 26, after surviving a near fatal crash himself, he found himself questioning everything, his choices, his purpose, realizing that external success meant nothing without true alignment. He turned to holistic self-improvement, immersing himself in learning and transformation. And today, he's the founder and CEO of Next Level University, a global top 100 self-improvement podcast, 75 countries, with a heart-driven but no BS approach. And he's here to help us elevate love, life, health, and wealth to the next level. And we just had a cool little conversation before we started. Alan, how you doing, man?
I'm very well. I really appreciate being here. And the first thing I always want to share, other than gratitude, because that's definitely where I want to start, is I don't take it lightly. Anyone who is out there watching or listening, 10 years ago, after that car accident that you mentioned in the intro, I found podcasts, I found self-improvement, I found books, I found courses, and I really started reflecting on myself and my life. And podcasts they helped me sort of reorchestrate and reconstruct my life in a much more positive direction. So whatever you're listening to or watching is definitely influencing you a lot. So I don't take it lightly to be here because a lot of podcasters in the past helped me tremendously. So now I help people, and I think it's a dream come true. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We were kind of talking about the podcast world and how you just said it was like crickets in the beginning, and now like you're busy, you know?
Yeah.
You have over 1,700 episodes. We're new. And so thank you for being here, man. We're new. This is like, season 1.5. I think you're episode 16 or 17. What's the secret to longevity and success that you've encountered?
Well, so we're coming up on 2,000 episodes. That's actually, I think 1996 was last night. And these, usually when you say that to someone who doesn't podcast, it's like, whoop-de-doo, man.
Right. When
you say it to a podcaster, they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So you mean like 1 minute episodes? No, our average length is a half an hour. And it's 1% improvement in your pocket from anywhere on the planet, completely free. But similar to what you just said, I don't ever want to forget where we started back in early March of 2017. And we started out, I remember back when I was hoping for 4 listens a day, and now we get, thousands a day. And I track it every day, where we just surpassed 1.17 million listens, which is wild. And again, some podcasters, that's not that great. For us, that's a big deal. For anyone in the beginning, that's a really big deal.
It's a really big deal.
And so we all have our niches, right?
Yeah.
But the secret to staying power, the secret to sticking around and sticking with it, and I have these sort of 4 rules of success that I give to all my business coaching clients, 25 individuals right now that I'm coaching. The first one is stop the wrong trains, which I think that's the biggest secret, for lack of better phrasing, is a lot of people think I got to focus on the right things, when in reality, what works even better is stopping the things that are nonsensical. So for me, prior to my car accident that you mentioned at 26, I'm 36 now, even though I look 12.
Yeah, you're not looking 30, whatever. You're looking young.
I used to be able to say I'm hoping to hit puberty at 37, but then I grew this little mustache I got going, so I can't say that anymore. And by the way, as a business coach, looking young is super helpful. People love to be taught by a teeny bopper.
Right.
I'm obviously joking, but again, it is what it is. But anyways, so the first rule is stop the wrong trains, which is prior to 26, my car accident, I was drinking too much and too often. I had high school friends and college friends and corporate friends, and I brought my high school friends to college and my college friends to corporate, and I was just in too many circles with too many groups. I was a chameleon trying to fit in everywhere. I was a wandering generality. Zig Ziglar is a personal development speaker from way back in the day, a wandering generality versus a meaningful specific. And now I coach, I train, and I podcast. That's kind of all I do. And I help people align their passion and their purpose with profit. And that's actually really hard to do because what the economy pays for is actually not usually what is fulfilling and meaningful to you. It's very hard to align those two. I often joke, I say, how much would Michael Jordan be paid to play basketball 150 years ago? And the answer is $0. There was no market. There was no NBA. There was no, right? So he was very blessed in the sense that his passion and his purpose were aligned with something very profitable. And not all of us are that fortunate.
Right.
So you kind of have to figure out what is profitable. And self-improvement, for example, it's not super profitable, but business coaching is. So if I frame myself as a business coach, but I help all the business owners improve themselves, I get to be a self-improvement coach for a profit because when they grow their revenue, I can get a percentage of that type of thing. So how do you turn your passion to purpose into profit? How do you stay long-term? The first answer is stop doing all the bullshit that is holding you back. So I quit drinking. I'm over 5 years sober.
Nice.
It took me a long time to stop that. And I got to say this too, the hardest part for me has been losing people. So I think some people are really good at relationships and I think some people are really good at success. It's very rare to be good at both.
Yeah.
I was definitely good at success, not good at relationships. Engineer, mathematical thinker, structure, discipline, system, structure, strategic thinking, chess player of the game, so to speak, which is why people don't like me. Okay. I'm reframing that to people don't understand me fully. Okay. So my business partner, Kevin, he's the people guy and I'm the systems and structure and metrics guy. And you really need both in business. And so for me, the hardest part has been prior to 26, I had a lot of friends of friends and friends of friends of friends. And I was invited to all the weddings and all the barbecues. And now I quite frankly have a very, very small circle by design, but that's been really hard on my heart. But I realize in hindsight, success is hard enough, even without any friends, never mind with a ton of them. So I think one of the hard truths about success and staying power is you kind of have to say no to a lot of other things in order to stick to the one really important things.
Yeah. You will actually I'll get the best of both worlds. I have you on. I believe your partner is coming on in a few weeks.
Nice.
So I'll get to have
cool
both of those energies here. And
good luck following this, Kev. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Right.
Everyone will like him more than me. That I promise.
Well, that's great to have both energies intertwined because I mean, it seems like it's working for you. And definitely. When just talking about the podcast space, how can entrepreneurs effectively use their podcasting if they're doing podcasting to grow their business?
Well, the first thing I think it comes down to, so I have something called a business star. It's just a framework. It's a star with 5 points. And I actually just taught it in our group coaching program last night. And it's the group coaching program is level up yourself, level up your podcast, level up your business. It's 6 sessions, 2-2-2. And we just got to the business session. And so this is the business star that I taught last night. The first one is branding. Second is marketing. Third is sales. Fourth is delivery. And then fifth is community. So to me, in the 21st century, the most important 5 things to master in business are those 5.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know the difference between them, and I certainly didn't in the beginning. It's over time that I started to understand all this. Okay, so branding it's essentially who you are in someone else's consciousness. So if you think of who was so Kevin and I, we went to the same high school. So if you were to ask Kev, who was the jock, the biggest jock in our high school, him and I would come up with the same probably 3 names. Okay. That's their reputation.
Yeah.
Life, and again, this is a metaphor, so don't take this literally, but business is kind of like a huge high school. I always say Tesla should not sell energy drinks and Red Bull should not sell cars.
Right.
You need to be a meaningful specific. And so a lot of people, they stray so much. And Kev, he came to me early on. He's like, what do you think about this? And how do we do this? And this would be profitable. It's like, dude, we got to stick to our thing. And a lot of times business owners trying to make money, they end up doing a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to their sort of core value. Like Nike is about athletics. It's not selling cars, and it shouldn't. That would water down the brand. Okay, so branding is what people say about you and think about you when you're not there.
Yeah. Okay.
Good, bad, or ugly. That's your brand.
That's the brand. Yeah.
All right. Number 2, marketing. Now, in some ways, marketing, I think a lot of people think is making yourself look better than you really are. We try not to say that that's what it is. This is what it is for us. Number 1 is knowing your target demographic. In the podcasting world, it's knowing your listener. So I'll use mine as an example, but I want everyone thinking about their own. So our listener are women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who struggle with courage, clarity, and confidence, who want more success in their intimate relationships and especially in their careers.
Nice.
Okay. It's people who are humble, have high work ethic, and actually low self-worth. We don't deal with entitled people. We're like tryhards who came from nothing, both didn't have dads. So we don't believe in the big rewards for minimal effort stuff. Whatever that's going on in the internet, not for us.
I hear you.
Again, it is what it is. People are like, oh, just raise your prices. It's like, well, did you get any better? Or what are your thoughts? But anyways, so marketing is knowing who your target listener is. We call it an ILA, ideal listener avatar.
Okay.
Which in the beginning you don't know because you don't have any listeners yet. So you got to go meet them and reach out to them and have calls with them and understand them and study them and social media.
So world figured it out. Yeah.
Exactly. So we didn't know at the beginning, right? We thought bodybuilding bros were going to listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you came from, that world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Kevin and I both used to, we still bodybuild, I guess. I guess we don't brand ourselves that way anymore, but yeah. And definitely got a little less in shape than in my fitness competition days, unfortunately. Branding, start a business or be in shape. Never both, unless it's a fitness business,
hard
right?
to do both.
Yeah, it's very hard to do both. 2 full-time jobs.
It is.
All right, so branding, who you are and what people say and think about you when you're not there. Marketing is who you're talking to, so the person, what you're saying, which is the message. So Lowe's is never stop improving. BMW is the ultimate driving machine. Geico is save 50% or more on car insurance, right? So the message, the person you're messaging to, and then it's the channels.
Okay.
So the channels are podcast. WhatsApp is big for us. Facebook is big for us. Yeah. Instagram is big for us. So LinkedIn, not as much. Again, think of the demographic. Heart driven, but no BS. LinkedIn's more professional.
Gotcha.
I would have thought LinkedIn. Nope. In hindsight, Facebook and Instagram, 90% of our listeners, right? So you got to figure this out through massive pain and failure, by the way. All right. Branding, marketing, sales, building meaningful relationships with your target demographic in the real world. So we like to say, change the word sales with help. Instead of I'm going to sell you, I'm going to help you. Or instead of I'm going to sell you, I'm going to invite you.
Yeah, I like that.
So we have a meetup tomorrow night. I invite you. So we are inviting people to a meetup tomorrow night, totally free on productivity. So if you want to get more out of your time and effort, boom, free. So sales, and this is the best thing I understand about sales at this point, and I screwed this up for years.
Okay.
You cannot have a level 8 ask for a level 6 relationship. Now, so my beautiful girlfriend and future wife, Emilia, if I walk into her office and I say, hey, sweetheart, I give her a kiss on the cheek, totally appropriate. If I do that to some stranger, I'm going to get slapped in the face.
Right.
As I should. You don't know me like that. You haven't earned that. A lot of people in sales, especially in the 21st century online, they're selling and pushing products, but they haven't built a relationship yet.
Yeah.
So, Michael, if I found out that you listened to 500 episodes of our show, I would invite you to the meetup. Gotcha. But we just met. So it's like, hey, man, come to my meetup. It's like, you don't know me like that. And so people get offended when you have a level 10 ask for a level 2 relationship. And that's why free is so powerful, because it's not an ask, it's an invite.
Wow. I love that. Again, we're in the beginning stages and, it's a lot of work. And I mean, I like it. It's an arm of my business, but I like what we're doing, myself and the producer, 2-man, woman team. And as I'm hearing you say all these things, I'm like, man, okay, so we shouldn't be so upset when we get, low views or low listens. But it's when I look at analytics and all that kind of great stuff, it's the same people. Well, at least the same area. So it's like we're creating a relationship with people, and it's 100%. Fine where we are.
Yep.
And
everyone's low in the beginning.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the love of it, really. I love being able to have these kind of conversations and meet people like yourself who have rich offerings, so to speak, from their experience, from who they are, and then just being able to share that with people. And it brings such, I don't know, just a fulfilling moment for me when I get to have these moments like this. So all that you just shared was like, it's gold. And you never know who can pick that gold up and use it and cash it in at some point in the future.
I appreciate that. And I think that one of the reasons why we are successful is because we are so open to giving value for free.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done, I think, 340. I track everything. So I'm an engineer. I always have to preface this because I come off so pretentious. I track everything. At NLU, we track every listen, every single episode. I mean, we have 54 podcasters we work with, plus 11 from group coaching. So you're looking at 65. And then you've got, it's 58 podcasters plus 11, which is 69. I knew my mind was off on that. And then I work with 25 business owners. So we're looking at almost 100 paying clients. But what we tell people, first of all, there was no clients in the beginning. We didn't make any money in the beginning. Second of all of those clients were after free sessions. We built relationships with people for free. I coached for free 8 years ago. I say I've been mentoring for 10 years, coaching for 8, because I didn't get paid until 2 years in. And I was a fitness coach, and I was a mindset coach, and I was a peak performance coach, and I was a life coach, and I was a business consultant for a time. And now I'm a business coach. So it's been a hell of a journey. So if you look at our moment now, I like to use the iPhone as a metaphor. Like when you see the iPhone, I don't see an iPhone. I see the 48 years Apple has been perfecting technology. See, the very first iPhone in 2007, when I was a senior in high school, was a revolutionary breakthrough. That thing would be hot garbage compared to this iPhone 14.
Exactly.
It wouldn't even be close, right? So me 8 years ago was not good. Didn't have a business start. Wasn't able to articulate to the way that I can now, right? So in the beginning, though, you really do need to put it on the court and add a lot of value and be willing to work for free and offer free trials. I've done 340 free business breakthrough sessions, and I only have 25 clients. So if you go into business entitled, I think you're screwed long term. Short term, you can kind of look like you win and that kind of thing. But what we've found, we've had a lot of podcasters come and go because we obviously do podcast production. We produce 58 shows, including 3 of my own. But at the end of the day, we've seen so many come and go, and it goes back to that staying power thing. And so you have something which is, you just found fulfillment while podcasting, which in the beginning, unless you have a side business that's really crushing it, that's connected to the podcast, is basically all you can play for.
Yeah.
In the beginning, all we were playing for was that fulfillment, learning, growing, and fulfillment. And then eventually, over time, you start to know your value. You start to go, okay, well, I'm actually pretty good at this, and we should really start charging for this. And well, now we know how to audio and video edit, and now we know how to do this, show notes, all that stuff, midtro, outro, intro. So you just accumulate so much expertise because you were so focused for so long on adding value. Then you start to charge, and then you can reinvest that back into branding, marketing, sales. And then you go to the other 2 that I didn't finish, which is delivery. So a lot of people, unfortunately, I came into the self-improvement space very naive. And I thought, this is going to be different. Because I came from industrial automation. I came from the corporate world. I came from a world that I think has some alarming things about it. Taking jobs, all good. It's happening. It is what it is. Okay. I come into the self-improvement space. I'm this naive 26-year-old. And I'm thinking, this industry will be different. This industry will be of integrity.
Yeah.
That was wrong-o. There are just as many snakes in this garden. Oh my goodness. I mean, some people are quite frankly just lying, straight up lying about their listeners. Yeah. You're sitting there going, well, we don't have that many listeners. That's honesty. In the beginning, most people are lying. Hey, we have 60,000 a month, all this. No, you don't. I produce 58 podcasts. I know you're lying, but most people don't know, right? So they're erring on the high side of perception that's not real. We say err on the high side of reality. So delivery means you can't just brand, market, and sell. You have to actually over-deliver. We've all opened a bag of chips and had it 1/3 full and been like,
where's my chips?
Yeah, where's my chips, man? You go on a first date. And it's like, this is back in the day, because I've been with Emilia monogamous 5 years, adore everything. But in the past, it was like, oh my God, your Instagram looked so good, right? It's they're really good at making themselves look good rather than actually being great on the inside.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in business, it's the same deal. Branding, marketing, and sales is only the first 3 steps. After that, you have to have a product or service that's actually amazing.
Yeah.
If the iPhone sucked, it doesn't matter how good the website looks, right? 5th is community. Zappos is a great example. They sell shoes. They sell a commodity. but it's got this whole community around it. And so our community, and I'll define delivery and I'll define community.
What's up, Thrival Journey listeners and watchers? Look, if you're someone with big dreams of entrepreneurship, but need a flexible way to earn income while building your business, let me tell you about the Orions Group. Through our partnership with Arise Virtual Solutions, you can become a customer support professional, aka CSP, and start earning from home on your own terms. Arise offers a streamlined certification process, getting you trained and ready to work with well-known brands all across America. You can set your own hours, choose the clients you want to work with, and create a work-life balance that fits your entrepreneurial goals. The best part, you don't have to choose between your side gig and your business dreams. Being a CSP with the Orions Group means you can bring in extra income while have the flexibility to focus on growing your own venture, much like I did. Whether you're looking to supplement your income or need a bridge while building your empire, this is the opportunity for you. You interested? If so, head over to www.theorionsgroup.com to learn more about becoming a CSP with the Orions Group. Look here. Support your entrepreneurial journey while supporting the Thrival Journey podcast at the same time. All right, one more time, www.theorionsgroup.com. All right, we're done with the spot. Let's get back to the podcast.
Delivery is over-delivering based on your listeners' expectations. So if you coach with me, you pay for an hour-long session, you're going to get an hour and 15. That's actually why I was late, by the way. Sorry.
Perfect. Hey, listen, you are giving value now. Like that lateness, what you're giving now makes up for it 100%. So
I
don't
appreciate
worry.
that. Yeah,
that be on your heart at all.
I appreciate you, man. All right, and then the last one is community, which is it's getting people together surrounded by a core value. So we have a place called Next Level Nation. It's a private Facebook group. Next Level University is the podcast. NextLevelUniverse.com is the website. Next Level Nation is the private community. All right, in the community, we're not in there talking about politics or religion or any of that. We're talking about holistic self-improvement. And in the beginning, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. But over time, it's like, what is it that we're actually providing, right? What's the business you think you're in versus the problem you're actually solving? The problem I think we're actually solving is that this growth journey is lonely as shit.
Yeah.
And when you start looking inward and you start looking at all your inadequacies and you start building self-belief and self-worth and you start this dream-chasing unorthodox thing like becoming a podcaster, you're alone and you don't feel like anyone supports you. And so it's all heart-driven but no BS, like-minded dream chasers that now it's cool to talk about self-improvement. So we created a space just earlier today. It was a joking post. Amy, she does Next Level Nation. She's one of our team members. And in the beginning, we had to do this all ourselves, by the way. That's another thing. But she posted caffeine or motivation. And I messaged both. I commented. And there's a bunch of comments on there and all this kind of stuff. So some of it's fun and playful. Some of it's what books are you reading? Some of it's, are you journaling? And so it's just a place where there's no bullies and self-improvement is actually cool. Because trust me, I wish it was. Self-improvement is not cool. Be at a holiday dinner table with your whole extended family and say, who's excited to grow and contribute at a higher level next year? What are your goals and dreams? Everyone's going to be like, okay, I got to get away from end of days over here,
Right.
And they want to go back to talking about sports or the weather or some other nonsense that really isn't super relevant.
Yeah.
So if you're the esoteric weirdo like me and like you, obviously.
Yeah, you are.
You're welcome here. Yeah, you're welcome here. And there is a place for you. And so that's what community is. You got to build a space where people can gather around a common core value. Never be a rapper at a country concert.
Yeah, that's fun. That's funny. I don't know. Sometimes they may cross over a little bit, but I get you. And we're talking about, actually, let's kind of talk about the world of self-improvement. At 2, you did lose your father. At 26, you got in a car accident. Is that when things started to shift for you? And who were you before the accident that you had? If you can tell that story just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't really know when you're young where you fall on the spectrum, the bell curve. So some people have a ton of trauma in their childhood. It's called an ACE score, adverse childhood experiences. Some people are on the very, very, very far end, and some people are on the very, happy, childhood. I didn't know because you don't know any different, right?
Right.
And then you get older and older and older and you rewatch the movie of your own life and it's either, wow, it was actually really good, or it's alarming. And it's oh my, that wasn't normal. Oh, that wasn't normal. Okay, that wasn't normal. So the metaphor that I use is we do relationship talks coaching. Emilia and I, we coach couples, and we use this metaphor because what happens in couples is they have different Richter scales. And I'll circle this back to my story as well to answer your original question. If you grew up in California and you feel a little tiny earthquake, you don't even notice it.
I've lived in California, I know.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm in Massachusetts. So if we feel anything, it's like, oh my God, what is happening?
Yeah.
Right? But if it's down in South Carolina, apparently they got snow this year. People are losing their minds.
Yeah.
And in New England, we're like, that's a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with childhood, and I can only laugh about this because I've done a lot of therapy in my 30s. You don't really know that you've been in level 10 earthquakes repeatedly your entire childhood until you get a partner who hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring them to a family gathering. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, and they're like,
yeah, no,
what?
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, oh, this is normal for you. So, but here's what happens, right? One person is raising their voice and the other person's going, what's going on here? This is really bad. It's like, oh, you thought I was raising my voice? That was nothing. So it all depends on what you grew up around, right? Yeah. So we all develop. Now, the benefits of an adverse childhood are you have a ton of grit. You most likely can suffer more than other people. You can run through a wall, right? The downsides are you probably don't understand your worth and your value. You're probably used to being disrespected, so you probably tolerate it all the time without even knowing it, that kind of stuff. Okay, so to go back to my childhood, father passed away at 2. I had a stepfather from age 3 to 14. My mom and stepdad did not get along. That's a polite way to put it. It wasn't all bad for anyone who ever were to listen from my child. Like, it wasn't all bad. We had a lot of adventure. We had snowmobiles and we had ski trips, and it was the sort of mid to late 90s, early 2000s. And my stepdad worked for a company called AGFA, Steve Lazaros. So my real last name is actually McCorkle. John McCorkle was my birth father. Big Irish Catholic family. It was Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette. He was one of all J. And I didn't know my dad. I was 2.5 when he passed. Stepfather came into my life, Steve Lazaros, from 3 to 14. And I playfully refer to this time of my life as boats and BS. It was the 90s, which, first of all, the 90s .com bubble globally was very big economic boom times. Yeah, you can research this. It's nuts how much the economy grew during that time. And in the U.S. in particular, the largest economy in the world, again, you can look this up, the 90s were wild.
Yeah.
It was wild, right? You know. Okay. So you were in California during the 90s, so you know.
No, I was in Michigan during the 90s. But
okay, but you still know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What do we do? I guess we'll do inline skating and snowboarding, and we might as well skateboard because everyone has money. It was wild times. Not everyone, but like comparatively, statistically. Okay, so we had snowmobiles, and my mom drove a BMW, and we had ski trips, and we lived on a lake, and trucks, and he drove a Ducati, and I mean, again, I didn't know any different. So from the outside looking in, it looked awesome. I mean, everyone thought I was rich and all this stuff, and it was awesome. We literally had a yacht. We had boats and ski trips.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, but from the inside out, mom and stepdad didn't get along. They partied a lot. I didn't know any different, right? So I go from Xbox, Dreamcast, early Christmas presents, computers, right? Video games, all this stuff, to stepdad leaves at 14. Now I get free lunch at school because our income is so low. He takes 90% of the income with him, takes his entire extended family with him. Haven't seen a single one of them since.
Oh, wow.
Not one. We don't associate with the Mickles much anymore. I'm 14 years old because we were trying to be the Lazaroses, right? Same year, sister moves out with her older boyfriend. Same year, mom gets in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, her sister. My Aunt Sandy ostracizes us from that side of the family. To this day, I've seen 2 human beings from my mother's side.
Wow.
So, used to be too much of a coward to share any of this, certainly not publicly. The abandonment issues that came with that were beyond my current fathomability. And I didn't know that this was happening to me. Like, I didn't consciously, I'm being abandoned, right? Obviously, that wasn't conscious.
Right.
And I started doing therapy in my 30s and realizing, got it. So there's 4 trauma responses. I'll go brief with this. There's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn.
Yes.
The one I didn't know was fawn, and that's the one that I did. So fawn is you're a social coward. You just appease.
People, yeah.
Yeah, people pleaser. And so I became this sort of chameleon, be whatever I need to be to not be abandoned. So I can fit in with the jocks, I can fit in with the nerds, all this stuff. Now, the cool thing that I'm very grateful for, even though it came with constraining effects later, was socially it was fun. Still working through that literally in this moment. Like, I'm probably red. I'm not that red. Okay, that's good news. But usually I became this sort of social coward. Don't speak up. Don't tell anyone you think that they're wrong. Don't challenge anyone or anything, right? Just don't get abandoned. Don't get abandoned. Don't get abandoned. But behind the scenes, there was a drive in me that you wouldn't fucking believe. I mean, it was fight. It was aim higher, work harder, get smarter. Aim higher, work harder, get smarter. Aim higher, work harder, get smarter. So this sort of super achiever was built because I looked into the future. It's like, okay, how do we keep the house in the family? There's no dad. There's no trust fund. There's no generational wealth. Like, we are screwed.
Yeah, I hear you.
And what are we going to do? So I bootstrapped. I got straight A's in all of high school. Didn't get a single B. Got one B plus in honors English, but it was weighted because it was an honors class. I got the President's Award. It's behind me, signed by George W. Bush.
Nice.
Which basically means you get a 95 or above GPA for all 16 report cards for all 4 years. 4 report cards, 4 years in a row.
Okay.
And now you know why no one likes me. I'm kidding. All right.
Know it all.
And I got all, yeah, right. I got all the scholarships and financial aid that I could because my dream was to go to WPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. It's kind of like a mini MIT in Massachusetts. It's one of the best engineering schools in the entire world, but it's $50,000 a year. And this is back then. And we don't have money, so I can't go, right? So I went from, I hope I get in, to even if I do get in, I can't go. So I get straight A's. I get all the scholarships and financial aid I can possibly get, academic scholarships. I get in, I do computer engineering, graduate with high distinction, get my master's in business. And then, I mean, I went from broke in high school and college. I'm talking broke. And again, we weren't going to starve, but like Salvation Army, hand-me-downs, like mom trades in her BMW for a little Honda Civic.
I know what broke is.
Yeah, I know. I see you. Yeah, not fun. Not fun.
No.
But anyways, so I'm used to, we didn't have cable, right? So I'm like, I start making money.
Right.
Dude, 65. Okay, so 2008, economy crashes.
Right.
I'm a sophomore in college. I get my master's in business. I stay, boom, boom, boom. 2012 bachelor's, 2013 master's. I've got an MBA with a computer engineering degree in the 21st century. I know this now. LinkedIn, boom, boom, boom. 65 to 85, 85 to 105, 105 to 125, 125 to 180 in like a 4-year period. So now it's 2015. I'm in my early 20s. I'm a 1% global earner. I paid off $84,000 worth of debt in a single year.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That was my goal, get out of debt, right?
Yeah.
And so debt-free, celebrated that, got made fun of. It is what it is. $150,000 in a Vanguard account with all tech companies. I'm this weird computer engineering, esoteric, built my first computer at 12 guy. So I know what tech companies are going to win, and I know that sounds arrogant. So I picked all the good ones, right?
Smart.
Thank you. And that's what I said, but you're not supposed to say that, so whatever.
Right,
okay.
right.
Oh, I was all, yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to say you're gifted or smart or any of that, which, by the way, we'll talk about it. Kevin's like, dude, that's not normal. Okay, so we'll talk about it. But basically, now I am with a girlfriend named Courtney. We live on a lake in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's $500 a month for rent. I bought a 2004 Volkswagen Passat for $5,000 cash. I'm making more money than I know what to freaking do with because I grew up broke, right? So at least after 14. And now it's like, okay, I'm making all this money. Then my car accident. So I went from iRobot, Sensata Technologies, Oz Development, Tyco Safety Products, Simplex Grinnell, all these different companies. I had interview at SpaceX, all this stuff. I ended up at a company called Cognex. They sell industrial automation equipment into manufacturing facilities all across the world. It's machine vision equipment. Picture the eyes of a robot. Simplest way to explain it. My territory is Vermont, Connecticut, Western Massachusetts. I'm going to GE. I'm going to all these big companies. I'm not even supposed to talk about it. Okay. I'm making all this money. Great. Awesome. Referral program. Brought my high school friends to college friends to corporate. Big referrals coming my way because they didn't have to pay the headhunters because I brought like 3 or 4 people from my college to the company. So I just am making tons of money, but I don't need much. So awesome. Invested it all. 2015, I get in a car accident and I realize I have done this wrong. So the best way I can describe it now, and at the time I did not get this. So the car accident was my fault. I crossed the double yellows. It was 3-way intersection, dark winter night. Snowbanks were covering the yield sign. What I thought was a Mack truck. It was a lift-kitted pickup truck, thankfully.
Yeah, really.
What saved my life was Volkswagen. The Volkswagen Passat, I used to call it the tank.
Okay.
Little German-engineered steel trap of a car. The whole front end is completely smashed, head-on collision. But the frame stayed, airbags deployed.
Okay, that's good.
So physically, I'm okay. My little cousin hurt his knee on the airbag. I hurt my face in the airbag. Second cousin from my mom's side, one of the 2 people that came back. He's 17, tweeting about it, thinking nothing of it. My dad died when he was 28 in a car. I've seen pictures of his car. I'm looking at pictures of my car, just rattled. So physically, I'm okay, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I mean, existential quarter-life crisis. Just, this is the second chance my dad never got. Who, what, when, or why? Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing with my life? Did any of this money even matter, right? All of that. Drinking too much and too often, for sure. Grew up around a lot of alcohol. Didn't know that. Didn't know it wasn't normal, right? And the best way I can describe it now is these 4 buckets of life that we all go through. And this is what I help people with now. The first bucket is unsuccessful externally and unfulfilled internally. When I was 14 and my stepdad left, I remember 15, 16, I was a cart kid and a busboy at a golf course. I was miserable. People would say, high school, the best years of your life. And I remember thinking, God, I hope not. This is terrible, right? Prepubescent. You think I look young now. Imagine me at 16, man. Overlooked by every girl, bullied by every jock.
Right.
I mean,
like,
just
little brother.
brutal, man.
Yeah.
These are the best years of your life. Oh, no. Seriously hope not. I was like, nope.
That's
So luckily they were wrong, huh?
Right.
But anyways, unsuccessful and unfulfilled. I think statistically speaking, as scary as this might be to share, I think most people are probably there. Unsuccessful externally and unfulfilled internally. I feel you. I've been there. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The next stage, I was externally super successful, which I thought would solve my problems. Because stepdad left, lack of money caused pain, so I figured money would do it. Definitely doesn't, but it helps. So I became externally successful and internally unfulfilled. Post-car accident, dude, I flipped the script. I was like, okay, screw this external achievement thing. I'm going all in on internal work. I'm going to go self-improvement, personal growth, personal development, fitness, happy, healthy, productive. Went broke, liquidated all my assets, started my own company, Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school, but desperately in all caps need to know. Good luck getting speeches at high schools and colleges with that tagline. Dumbest idea ever, right? Trying to bring personal development to the masses, naive.
Yeah.
Still kind of on that mission, but, sneakily.
I hear you.
So now I'm fulfilled as hell internally, fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, 43 photo shoots, 3 fitness competitions, happy, healthy, and productive, fulfilled as hell, love my life and love who I am, but I'm broke. So now I'm externally unsuccessful, Kevin and he'll tell you that too. 4th bucket didn't happen till my 30s. The 4th bucket is where all of us want to get. It's when you can look in the mirror and say, I want my future to be an amplified version of what it already is. You are externally successful, relatively speaking, and that's a mountain that gets higher as you climb.
Of course, yeah.
And you're internally fulfilled. In other words, your external success in your career and your calling are in alignment with who you actually are and what's meaningful work for you.
Yeah.
And it took me 30 years. And I think some people, it takes them a lot longer, and it would have taken me a lot longer had I not gotten in that car accident. So I think that's the 4th bucket everyone wants to get to. Very few people are there. That's been really hard for me to see. Like, I coach a lot of people, right? Blah, blah, blah. Awesome. Congratulations, Alan. Very few people. Usually there's a lot of external success with very little internal fulfillment, or there's a lot of internal fulfillment, but they're not that successful.
Right.
Very hard to do both. And that's why it's so rare, but it can be done. And that is my main focus in life.
Nice. You said, like, in everything that you said, it's so much. And I just want to first honor what you said. So thank you for sharing all that. Acknowledge all that you've been through to get to where you are at this point. And it takes a lot, from where you were to where you are. There's such a growth pattern that you go through. For people who are in their beginning stages of beginning their business, or entrepreneurs that want to take the aspiring entrepreneur route to entrepreneur, what do you say to them when it's such where they are missing something internally, but they're really completely focused on the external value only? Like, how do you get them to connect the two, or even realize that one thing is missing?
Yeah. I think the hardest part still to this day about being an entrepreneur is playing the long game and making sure it stays your game. There's 2 worlds we all live in, and one of them is the social world and the other one is the real world.
Okay.
The economy is built on the social world. So this is your Instagram profile. So the best metaphor for the social world versus the real world, and I've had, how do I not come off pretentious? Kevin's like, dude, you got to say that different.
Dude, just say it.
Yeah, just say it. Yeah, literally just say it. Okay.
It's okay.
It is what it is. I got to own it. Okay. I've had dozens of coaches and mentors, many multimillionaires, 1 billionaire. What I came to get freaked out by is how unfulfilled they are and how out of shape they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the old me didn't have the courage to say that publicly, but internally it was like, you take better care of your Porsche than your family. Like, I can't even. There's got to be a way to do both, right? And that's the health, wealth, and love thing. Like, holistic. And I know why it's harder. I gotta make this clear mathematically. If you're 1 in 100 health, 1 out of 100 wealth, and 1 out of 100 love, you are 1 in a million.
Yeah.
It's just way harder, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan tried to play basketball and baseball. Like, it's not going to happen, brother, with all the love, right? Michael Phelps has 23 gold medals, but they're all in swimming. He's not going to have a gold medal in swimming and then also run a marathon, right? So
Yeah.
it's very hard to be good at multiple things. It's very hard to be extremely good at multiple things. Okay, that's the whole strength and weaknesses conversation. Okay, so go back to the social world and the real world. Hardest part about for an inspiring entrepreneur, if I could give you a golden nugget here. The social world is the wedding and the wedding photos. The real world is the marriage when no one's watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
That brings clarity to it. Yeah, for sure.
Good. Okay. So I try, and again, I'm not perfect at this, but I try after 26 in particular, I tried to focus more on the marriage. And again, I'm not married yet. So in this metaphor, the relationship than I do the wedding photos. The way I see it is inside out is better than outside in. If I focus on my relationship with Emilia when no one's watching, and I work on myself, and I make sure I'm courageous, humble, and vulnerable, and I make sure that I'm there for her and supportive, but also challenging, all this stuff. Okay, then it will ripple into social media versus what a lot of people are doing is making social media look good at the expense of their insecurity because their real life actually isn't great. So I call it the inverse 10 law. If someone is portraying level 10 wealth, they are 1/10 as successful as you think.
I got you.
I have some other people that I've seen their bank account that don't portray wealth at all, and they're multimillionaires. So they are 10 times more successful than you think.
Yeah.
However, in the self-improvement space, in the entrepreneur land, because of the 21st century, how do you have credibility if you don't look successful?
Yeah.
Right? So if I don't drive a Tesla and blah, 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 are you going to come to me for business coaching, or are you going to come to the guy who rented a Ferrari? That's been my hardest part, because what's fulfilling is the real world.
Yeah.
What brings success, unfortunately, is branding and marketing and perception. And you have to master both, but I say syntax matters. Make sure the real world is first, and then that ripples into the social world. If you put the social world first, you are gonna end up very broken inside. And that's just, I don't want anyone to do that. Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, like that's a whole meal. Okay. That's a meal with some some extra stuff on the side, a little take home bag, all that stuff you just said. And I want to get into that, some more, but I know we have time limits. So
I'm loving this. If you want to keep going, it's up to you. I gave you a hard stop, but I want to keep going if you want.
I want to honor your time.
Appreciate you.
So I definitely want to do that. Let's do this then. I'd love to have you back on, maybe with your partner, doing like maybe a live event, if that's possible, and we can create that. And because this is gold, man. And
I would love to. We would love to. Yeah.
That's so great. But I want to honor your time. That's a big thing with me.
Thank you.
But definitely we'll arrange something where you and your partner can come on together, and we'll have a live event or something like that.
I would love that. Yeah.
Really
appreciate it.
Pump that thing up. So, man, that was so much. Okay. So in the entrepreneurial space, and I'll just ask this for the last question. What is next level to you? Because it's your business, right? Next level to you. And what would be your words to aspiring entrepreneur or beginning business owner to really help them fulfill on what you just shared as far as fulfillment on the inside and excellence on the outside?
Okay. What does next level mean to me? It's the mountain that gets higher as you climb it. I think it's reaching your potential. Next level you, pun intended.
Okay.
It's not the next level version of me. It's not the next level version of Kevin. Our podcast, what we've tried to do is make it feel like you're on the growth journey with us. We're not talking from a place of we've arrived. I'm 36, he's 35. Like, we're still young. We've not arrived. We've achieved many of our dreams, and that's great. But we are barely scratching our potential. And I'm very future oriented. I always said my career wouldn't even start till I was 50. I'm weird with that, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the statistics, most people's careers really take off when they're late 40s, 50s, that kind of thing. If they stay, you know what I mean? So next level you is, pun intended, it's the becoming the best version of yourself, the next level version of yourself. So I'm Alan version 3.6.
Okay.
And Alan version 3.7 is going to be hopefully smarter. It's going to be smarter, more capable, more aware, more virtuous, more humble, more confident, real confidence, not arrogance, a better leader, a better communicator, hopefully, a better podcaster, coach, trainer, all that stuff, better partner, intimate partner, health, wealth, and love. So what does next level mean to me? It means no matter how hard your past has been, you have a bigger, better, brighter future on the other side of taking personal responsibility. Now, this is one of the things that's really hard for me. I had a client once. Her name was Bonnie. She wouldn't mind me sharing this. And she's not my client anymore. She's working with my girlfriend now. And she said, Alan, you have trouble having compassion for people because you started in worse circumstances than they did, and they're making excuses, and you didn't make any excuses. What I've come to understand as I've matured is that if you don't have high self-belief, none of what I just shared about my story would have been possible. There's 3 advantages that I have, and I need to make this as clear as possible for anyone out there thinking, well, that wouldn't have worked for me. Number 1, you're not allowed to say this, but I have to have courage. I definitely am gifted. As a kid, everything came fairly easy. Like not everything, but most things. Okay. Especially intellectually. Math and science, simple, right? Partied all night, straight A's in calc, that kind of thing.
That's cool.
Didn't have to go to any of the classes, straight A's on the tests type of thing. So there's definitely that component. Number 2, born in the US, which is by far the largest economy. Again, you can look that up. And I was born in a state, Massachusetts, that had no child left behind. So I got financial aid and scholarships to go to one of the best colleges in the world that's extremely expensive. I actually spoke there a couple months ago. And I wouldn't have been able to go if I was born in a different country that was less economically sound.
Right.
Okay. So that was not me, right? These are the things that weren't me. I was born gifted and I had that. The third thing, and I do believe that this was me, but not consciously, I had a ton of self-belief. You can research, it's called self-efficacy. There's 2 types of self-efficacy. There's external self-efficacy and then there's internal self-value. External self-efficacy is your unconscious belief in your own ability to figure it out and make it happen. I can build the castle. Self-worth is different. Remember the 2 worlds, real world, social world?
Social world, yeah.
I had very high real world skills and competence levels, and I feel very confident in the real world.
Yeah.
But socially, I never felt valuable. So I had low self-worth in the social world and very high self-belief in the real world, which most people are the opposite statistically.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of people with low self-worth get bullied. And that's why a lot of engineers feel like losers, because they're actually really smart and they're calculating everything. So they have very high confidence in the real world, but yet no one likes them type of thing.
Yeah.
So if you combine all those things, what you eventually learn is that anyone can be better tomorrow than they are today, but not everyone will. So why not? Most of it comes down to self-belief. If you don't believe in your own ability to build a business, you won't, even if statistically you could. And then the second one is self-worth, meaning if you don't think you're worth it, you won't do it. Every one of us is calculating unconsciously whether or not it's worth it. I had to determine whether or not it'd be worth it to come to this show right now, right? You had to determine whether it was worth it to have me on. And then we both have to believe in our abilities to show up and show up well. And even though it's not going to be perfect, we're going to be able to get better. So that's the growth mindset and the self-belief. So what I've found coaching so many people, literally, I have it tracked again, over 7,000 one-on-one hour-long plus coaching sessions. I have this all tracked. You find some people think they believe in themselves consciously, but don't at all deep down.
Right.
Like Kevin, that dude has tons of unconscious self-belief, but doesn't think he believes in himself. You ever meet someone who's like, no, I don't really believe in myself that much, but they always take action?
Yeah.
And then you meet the opposite. They think they believe in themselves a ton, but they never follow through.
But they never follow through. Yeah.
That's called delulu.
Delulu.
Right? Delusional. Yeah. It's not in their central nervous system, right? So I happen to have a lot of self-belief, and now I have a formula to build it. I'll give it to you quickly. It's state-proof self-assign. Quick story. I know we got to jump. I was in college in 2007, and there was a website back then. I was a freshman in college. My dorm, Riley 1. Side tangent, we were mining for Bitcoin in my dorm room. We had no idea.
Wow. Okay.
Who knew, right?
Who knew?
Whoopsie. Yeah. Okay. Just a weird nerd school, right? But anyways, so there's this website called Stumble Upon. Dumbest shit ever. You literally, it's like webcam roulette. Everyone in my dorm was doing it. I thought it was stupid, but now I realize why. You basically just stumble upon other webcams of people all over the world doing dumb things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Funny, gross, whatever. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people walk through life that way. They stumble upon a job, they stumble upon a career, they stumble upon a partner, they stumble upon this friend, they stumble upon, and unfortunately it doesn't build belief. Belief is only built when it's premeditated.
Intentional.
So I didn't just get straight A's in high school. I decided I'm going to get straight A's in high school and go to WPI. And then I proved to myself I could do it. And then I self-assigned it once I did it. But if you don't state, you're not going to self-assign. You're just going to think you got lucky unconsciously.
Right.
So what we tell people at Next Level U is state, prove, self-assign. State, I'm going to the gym tomorrow, no matter what. Prove to yourself you're going to go. Keep the promise to yourself, and then self-assign it once you do. Now you're building unconscious self-belief. Now, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? But most people are just stumbling upon stuff and they feel out of control, and then they have to inflate socially to make it seem like they're not. So next level you is that building inside first and then letting success be a byproduct of that. And then the last part of your question was?
Well, I mean, you pretty much captured it. It was really more about how entrepreneurs can really fulfill on or connect with fulfillment on the inside as well as the external success.
Okay, I'll touch on that quick. So I was externally successful and wildly unfulfilled. I mentioned that. And then I flipped the script and went all in on fulfillment, and then eventually became successful. I would say both are really important, but the syntax matters. Number one is, what is meaningful work for you? It's a Venn diagram. I got to close my eyes when I do this. All right, 3 circles, Venn diagram. You got to find the star in the center. And I wear this star around my neck to represent my true north. Okay.
Yes, I like that.
Thank you, brother. So 3 circles. The first one is, what are you ridiculously good at? This is usually something that makes other people insecure. So your relationship with it might not be great. Okay. Number 2 is, what will the economy actually pay for? Right. I love self-improvement. Really good at it. The economy doesn't pay for it. Is what it is, right? Business coaching, they pay for it. Okay.
They pay for that, right?
You will not pay me to improve yourself, but you will pay me to help you grow your revenue, right?
Right.
And what do you have to do to grow your revenue? Improve
yourself.
Right. See? Finally figured it out. All right. So the first one is, what are you ridiculously good at that most people hate you for? They're insecure about. The second one is, what will the economy actually pay you for? And the third one is, what's the most meaningful work for you? It doesn't mean you always want to do it. I don't always want to coach. There are some days where it's like, ugh, but after I'm done, I'm always glad I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know you love something because you always want to do it. You know you love something or someone because you're always glad you did.
You did.
Right? That. And so if you find the center of that Venn diagram, meaningful work the economy actually pays for, not just now, but in the future, and something you're actually statistically good at, because let's be real, you're competing. It's like when you buy a house, it's okay, you got to check the comps. Okay, well, that one sold for 5.5, that one sold for 7.5. Okay, what's this one worth? 6.5. That's how the economy works. Everyone's like, well, I'm worth $1,000 an hour. No, you're not. No, you're not. I can get someone doing that same thing for $7 an hour. Therefore, you're not, despite your self-worth issues, right? So that center of that epicenter is, if you can build a career there, you will shine. And then you'll have social challenges with people trying to berg off you, and berg is bask in reflective glory.
Okay.
And all that kind of social stuff.
Like, what is that?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Bask and reflect. It's like our team won. It's like, really, you're our team. Were you on the field? It's that kind of thing. So once you become successful, now you have social issues that you're going to have to deal with, and setting healthy boundaries and all that.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I like that. Man, it's so rich. You have so much to share, and I can't wait to talk to your partner as well. You have so much to share, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I really think that anybody that listens to this, they will, man, a bag full of nuggets, man, gold nuggets that they can cash into in their lives. And how does, I know you talked about next level you, next level university. How does our listeners get in touch with you?
Again, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. Yes. Yeah, happy to do it again. Sometimes I playfully joke with Kev because I feel like sometimes we're, those girls in a bar, like, watch out for that creep, because we go on a lot of podcasts, right? So he'll always tell me, dude, that guy's awesome. That girl's awesome. That, right? So I'm going to tell him, like, 10 out of 10. This is awesome. So thank you. We do green, yellow, red. You're green, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being a good person who sincerely has an interest in actually serving people and isn't trying to sell me something on the back end, right?
I don't have that.
Yeah. So where can you find me? The website is nextleveluniverse.com. The podcast is Next Level University, 1% improvement, holistic health, wealth, life, and love in your pocket from anywhere on the planet, completely free. Anyone can get a little bit better each day. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Instagram is probably the best. And if you Google my name, you'll definitely be able to see. You can chat GPT or Google my name. All the stuff will come up. The website, we got a book club that's free every week. Been doing it for 4 years. We have monthly meetups every month. We've been doing that for 3.5 years. We got one coming up on Thursday. It's totally free. We have a journal. We got all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking to reach the next level and you feel stuck and you want some inspiration, motivation, and education consistently, you want to get around people who are ignited and excited for the future in this very doom and gloom, world, this is the place for you. If you're humble, grateful, work ethic, you're going to love us.
Nice.
Sincere interest to get to the next level, you're going to love us. If you are entitled or arrogant on any level and you want big rewards for minimal effort, do not reach out under any circumstance.
That's not your world.
Yeah.
That's not your world. Yeah. Listen, people, when you watch this, all of the stuff will be in the description. Somehow we'll get it from your camp, but rewind, play, because there's so much here to take away. And, so much in my mind, in my heart, and my spirit to talk about, but we'll stick to the script a little bit and let you go. And really, man, Alan, Lazarus, first of all, your last name is awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing what you had to share. And I look forward to us doing this sometime in the future here. And as we say around this time on this podcast, make thriving your new normal. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely.